Okay, good afternoon. The last class we start up to that production function, linear production function. So there is a production function, three types of production functions are there. So based upon the utility of the prim, the production functions are going to be used in a different ways. So the first one we discussed, and before going to the second and third one, we saw the difference between what is the production and the productivity. So production is the number of goods made, and the productivity is number of goods produced by the different divided by the employees. Example, we saw that we have 40 chairs with 5 employees, then the production is 40 chairs and the productivity is 8. That is a units produced by unit used, input used. So that is the difference between production and productivity. So the second production function, so we already discussed, we have three production functions. This is the second production function, Cope-Doungels production function. So this is the one scientist name is introduced that, that's when it is a name came to that. So the production function is a linear homogeneous type, is invented in JNTU Wiskil. Is the first tested by C.W. Cope and P.H. Doungel in 1928. The famous statistical production function is known as Cope-Doungel production function. So this is out of these three, this is the famous one. Originally, the function is applied on the empirical study of an American manufactured industry. So as usual, these everything were developed and they were tested in some companies. So one American manufactured company, they was tested these Cope and Doungels scientists. So Cope and Doungels production function takes the following mathematical form. So here we have the mathematical form is y equal to ak power infinity into HL whole power 1 minus infinity. So what is the terminologies here means? Y is the output. Generally, we can call y equal to f of x. No, that is a function we have definitely write. In the different form here, y we are writing y equal to ak and hl. So powers we have, that is. So y is the output and k is the capital and l is the labor, and a and infinity, that is alpha here, not is the infinity, is a alpha, we have alpha, beta, gamma. So that is alpha. So positive constant or elasticity of production.
September.
So these are the terminologies where in the production function in a mathematical form. So y equal to ak power alpha into hl power 1 minus alpha. So output, capital and labor, and that is a positive constant of the or elasticity of production. So these elasticity and things we were discussed in the first unit. So what is elasticity and what is macro and micro definitions, all those things we will discuss in the first unit. So if the production function in this, so what is this? Oh, we said that this was introduced in 1928 in one American industry. They were tested also. So we have one equation also. So in what it will use, what is the main functionality in this production function means? This measures the percentage response of the output to the percentage changes in labor and capital respectively. So every production function will give some production. So that production percentage, the responses of the output to the percentage changes. So if the labor and the input, that is a capital input, is going to be changed, so how it is going to be, the percentage will change. So that is, again, it is a constant. So constantly, if the labor is changed, what is the output will change. Then the capital is changing, what is the percentage changing. Then it is a constantly, it is going to be changed. Then Cope-Doungels production function was based upon the micro level of study, macro level of study. So we know that what is a micro and macro that is came to here. As a macro level, so very in-depth study of the organization is going to be mentioned here. It has been very useful for interpreting the economic result. So once economic came into a picture, then we can definitely say that. So what is the input, capital investment, and what is the output? What is the profit of the organization? It came into a picture. So once economic term came in, so if what is the investment and what is the output of profit, that we have to clearly in this economic result. So it is a macro level of study of organization. Then later the investigation is related. The sum of exponents may be very slightly larger than utility, which implies the decreasing cost also. So see that is a later investing. So once it is revealed, the sum of the exponents may be very slightly larger than the utility. So if the these production function continuously we are using, when we are making some changes in the labor and capital respectively, so there is no change in the production. So that is the final output. We don't have any changes. So if it is going to be like that, then we have decreasing the cost of the product. So that is one use of this Cobb and Dongle's production function. So here we are going to be changing the labor and capital respectively. So remaining the production, that the final output will be constant. Then we have some profit in the organization. So that we are going to be discussing. So, but the difference was in the marginal, the constant cost would be seems to be a safe assumption for all practical purposes. So, if the production will be same, if the labor and capital is going to be changing, then the cost will be decreases. Then the productions will be the productions are same. If what is going to be the investment, that is the basic inputs are going to be less, then output definitely increases. So that is in a practical manner we are going to be discussing. So we have some of the assumptions are there why we are going to be use this Cobb-Dongle production method. So the previous one and this one we can compare and study. Then later we have one more production function also there, that also you see. So it is assumed that output of the function of two factors. Okay, generally, if any product we are going to be manufactured in the production system, so we have output function is there, output of the function. It is based upon the two factors. One is a capital, another one is a labor. So that is the input, and so that is the raw material and the labor. So that is the two assumptions. Then there are constant returns to the cell. So again, here we may have changing these capital and labor respectively. Again, the constant sale will be there. The products are going to be sold in a same way. So then it is going to be profit to the organization. So in the final words, in these production functions, we have a different type of production functions. Why we are doing? So at the end of the day, in the order of the day, the organization needs to be get some profit. So in order to run organization in proper manner, definitely it has to be in the profit. It needs some profit to run in the next year, that is upcoming. So once it is launched, they are going to be say about in this year we were invest this much of amount. So once the end of the year, so this much of products was released, this much of sold happened. So remaining this many products are there. So what is the profit? So if based upon the profit only, the next year the organization is going to be run smoothly, or they want to need some changes. That changes we So what are the changes we need? So how to take over the organization in a better manner, that we will discuss in the upcoming units. That is another. Here we are going to be see about the relationship between the production and the productivity. So here we will cover all those things. So we have a production function, production system, continuous production, all those things. So how the organizations are going to be release the products. If the products is going to be released, everything is going to be happen. If something is going to be changed on inputs on the labor and capital, whatever it. So again, we have a constant result or different results. So that may be suitable to a particular organization. If it is suitable, then we are going to be accepted for the next upcoming years, or else what are the changes we need, then definitely we need to change. So all the inputs are homogeneous. Again, if you are taking one particular product, so then what are the inputs we are going to be give to that particular organization? That inputs again homogeneous. Homogeneous means it's a constant, so there is no changes. So all are same. So we will have this homogeneous data type. We can, so that is a homogeneous means similar type. So all the inputs are similar. So that is a in this Cobb Dongle's production function. So there is a perfect competition. So these also discussed in the first unit. So macro production, perfect competition, competitions, various competitions means, so one organization to one organization, what is the competition? So what are the things we need to keep it in mind to get that particular company is to be in the market competition to the other markets, other organizations. How it is going to be give the competition to the other organizations. That also. So once we are applying these things, then the production function is applied properly. Then we have a large number of outputs came out of the organization. Then we have some changes in the labor and capital. Still we are getting the constant result without varying, without changing. So what is going to be happen? Then the cost of the product is decreasing. If the cost of the product is decreased, what is going to be happen? The number of sales will be increased. If the sales will be increased, then definitely the organization is going to be get profit. So that is once we are applying these Cobb Dongle's production function. So in between we are trying to change these labor and capital in a different manner. Then this production function will use that particular organization to be a perfect competition. So there is no change in technology. Again, we are not going to be changing any technologies here. So the technology is common, but we are going to be change the inputs and the labor. So how we are going to be a perfect in the competition. Then continuation. So we have some criticisms are there. So why if we are using, so what are the things to be discussed? So in this production function, we will see one by one here. So Cobb Dongle's production function is criticized because it shows the constant returns to the sale. So again, one more thing is, so if two changes is going to be happened on the capital or labor, we have some changes. So it shows some constant sales. Its result is a constant sales, but the constant returns to the sales are not equality. So industry is either subject to increasing the returns or diminishing returns. So something is returns is needed. If the constant profit is coming, so the organizations are need to be updated with this. So if okay, we are putting 100 rupees, we are getting 110 rupees. We are putting 100 rupees, we are getting 110 rupees. So every time you are going to be get the constant returns. For example, the 10 rupees is a profit is in every time, but organization need not accept these type of constant returns, not going to be good for the organization. So we need something changes, dimensions. We need a different type of dimensions. So sometimes it is based upon the competition. It will be increases and decreases maybe, but they don't accept the constant these type of returns. So these production function will use the constant returns. So that we need to criticize. That is a main thing we were discussing here. No entrepreneur would like to increase the inputs in order to have a constant returns only. His aim will be get the increases returns and not a constant returns. So always is, for example, in the particular 2020, we have sales of, for example, the profit is 10,000. The next year, the profit definitely need to be increased. Then only that particular organization is in a perfect competition. It is in the market. So the products are going to be sold properly. So what is going to be happen? So for example, simple, we are going to be see the one particular mobile phone in Flipkart website. So what is going to be? So if, for example, there is no changes, everyone is simply it's okay, something feedback is giving. So next time, the people are going to be buying. They are not going to be shown some interest on this. So okay, it is not giving any much result. So it is only a basic things only happen. So if we need such type of perfect competition, we need some changes. The changes means they need to change the input. Definitely they need to get output changes also. Then they definitely need some profit. So that is every entrepreneur, that is a boss of the organization, need increase in his profit only. Is not going to be seen as a constant returns. So then another one is the function has applied to each prim may not given the same result as that of the industry. This function applied to each prim. So we are going to be applying, for example, we are taking 10 industries in one area. We are applying the same thing, same function to that. It may not give the same result. Again, it is a problem. For example, so we consider the different organizations are there. For example, all are producing the same or different products also. Again, we are applying these Cobb and Dongle's production function into the organizations. Every organization is not going to be give the same result. It may differ. So maybe in one place, maybe problem with the electricity. So maybe problem with the employees, maybe problem with the inputs. So whatever it is. Again, why we are specifying these variables means. So definitely production function is going to be take some raw inputs and the raw outputs. So once we are going to be consider these things, definitely we need we have some changes in the result. So once we have applying the same concept for all the other functions. So it is based upon the assumptions that the two factors of the production that are suitable to exceed the complementary of a factors, but in SAR, run non-complementaries of a factor is possible. That is, it applies more to the long term, not for the short. So this is again one more thing is, it is only used for a long term organizations only. It is not suitable for a short term organizations. So we, in a short term organizations means definitely we have a limited number of inputs are there, limited number of labors are there, and limited number of outputs also there. So if we have a large number of outputs also, but it is a less cost. Simply we have, for example, preparing a mask. So it may be per hour, for example, one labor is going to be prepare a mask in 1 hour. They may produce, for example, 10 or 30. So there may be the number will be increased, but the cost of the mask is very less. compared to. For example, in organization, one industry is going to be manufacturing car. For example, per one day it is going to be gives 20 cars on. So maybe the quantity, the number is very less, but the cost of the product is very high. So when this function is not much suitable for a short-term organizations, it is only suitable for long-term organizations. So again, that is one more criticism here. Then we have the third production function is leonotopic production function. So what is this leonotopic production function? So how it is going to be again? The first one we have seen some variable, and the second one is about probe, and third one is about Leo production functions. What is these three means? The third one is, it is also called a fixed proportion of production function. Fixed proportion. What is a proposition? What is a proposition simply? For example, inverse proportion we can have, no? For example, A equal to Bx, something is there. So once A is increased, automatically B is increasing. For example, A equal to 1 by Bx, what is going to be happen? So that is the inverse proportion, that is A inverse proportion to B, A is direct proportion to B. So the same word here. We have here a fixed proportion. So there, that's only this leotonic production function is also called a fixed production function. So the fixed production function is useful when the labor and capital must be furnished in a fixed proportion. The equation fixed proportion is follows. This is the fixed production. So that is we have Q equal to minimum of AK and BM. As usual in the previous one also we have a K and L. So the same terminology is K and L are the capital and labor here. So K is a capital and L is a labor. Okay. Again, Q is a total production function, and we have here small a and small b are the coefficient of the production functions. So how we are going to be different? In the previous, we are going to be see that variable changes in something changes in labor and capital. So what are the different results we are going to be produce in the Cope and Dongles method while we are applying them? So here we instruct that when the labor and the capital must be furnished in a fixed proportion. So we are going to be fixed. For example, for producing one product, we need this much of input is needed, this much of labor is needed. We are going to be fixed for each and every product. So fixed proportions are there to produce each and every product. So that we will see here what is this fixed proportion. So leotonic production function LPF is named as the father of input-output economics. Basically, Leopold is what the implied is in plan. So he is input-output economics father. So as usual, we know that who is father of economics. Same here also we have a input-output economics father. We'll see. So his name that production function came. It is also known as a fixed production function. So we still see the output Q, the function of a capital K and the labor L. So that is a Q equal to minimum MIN of AK and BL. So that is the function. So the destination of minimum refers the smallest number of K and L. So here we are going to be thinking. So in particular one product. So what is the minimum capital we are going to be keep and minimum labor we are going to be keep. So that is we are going to be fixing for one particular product. So that we are going to be keeping in mind and we are going to be apply this. That is we are going to be fix it for one particular production. So what is a fixed capital and what is the fixed labor? We are going to fix it, then we are going to be produce the output of the output. So that is the output Q is equal to minimum of AK and BL. So the isoquantums, they are simple. Don't be confused with this type of isoquantums. So that will be discussed in the coming PPT itself. So don't worry about it. So I already mentioned that this isoquantums is nothing but we are going to be draw some diagrammatical representations of these production functions. So that we will see that. So we are going to be using a right angle, a capital. So there is a right angles. We are going to be mentioning a graph in x-axis and y-axis. We are going to be mentioning. Capital and labor are fixed proportions. They are the perfect complements, and they cannot be substituted for one other. So we are going to be, say, for example, in a particular organization, we have a various departments. In one department, we have, so this is the capital, these are the labors we need to work on this. So we cannot fix these labors for any department. We cannot go with the same fixed proportion for the other department also. So it is going to be fixed for one particular place. The fixing is nothing but it is going to be fixed for one particular place. We are going to be fixed. These are the number of labors are needed. These are the capital are needed. A similar way, it is not going to be for all other places. It is differ from one to other places. So increasing the inputs will lead to a proportional increase the output. So simply, if we are going to be increase the inputs, then definitely we are going to be get then outputs also increase. Also, we cannot do a few or too many outputs. The relationship between the capital and labor is so still. For example, one person is going to be produced one particular amount of product in a particular time. So if still we are going to be increased. For example, if we need to increase the inputs, so still we may get outputs are increased, but we need to take care about the labor, whether the labor is interested to do or not. So that the relationship will be a lot, because why? So here we are having a fixed proportion. So okay, in particular capital, particular labor, they are going to be produce this much of outputs by using these inputs in a particular time or a particular department. So if you have a such type of fixed proportion, so we still increasing the inputs also. So if the increasing the input means definitely the output has to be increased. But here the labor and capital are the fixed. So that's why only it is not giving much result in a proper way. So that is about these three production functions. First one is a variable, and the third one is about fixed, and the second one is about Cope Dongel's methods. So these are the three different production functions. So we discussed in a different classes also. That's why I came to picture into three in one place with the small differences. So a production function is an equation that, yes or no? In the first also we discussed one equation, the second we discussed one equation, and third also we discussed. So these three equation, whatever the equation, it's going to be give the relationship between inputs and outputs. So that is our main aim of our production function is we have some raw inputs are there. We are applying some production function. We are going to be get the raw outputs. So the relationship between, so how, whether it is a variable, variables are going to be applied. So for example, variable production function, we are going to be varies that how we are going to be varies the capital and labor, how it will be. The second one, we are going to be changing. If the changes occur, still we have a constant input output also. Then what we are going to be discussing. So in this Leo-Tonic production function, so what are the fixed proportion of a labor and capital for a fixed outputs also. So that is whatever the combination of these three production functions. So finally, it's going to be gives the relationship between input and output only. So these are the three production functions. One is a linear production function, and the Cope dongles and the fixed. It is also called a diatomic production function. So what is this one means? The linear production function and the fixed proportion production functions are the represent in a two extreme case scenarios. So these are the very much useful. So why? Because the second one we are going to be discussed in a long term only. It is not going to be applied for short term organizations. But these two we are going to be used for all type of organizations. That's why we have say that these are extreme scenarios for these organizations. So what is this overview of this linear production? The linear production function represents a production process in which the inputs are perfect substitutes. Inputs are perfect substitutes. That is, one says labor can substitute complement completely with the capital. So inputs are perfect. So inputs we are going to be keep it, and we are going to be change. For example, the inputs are there. For example, we are going to be increase the labor. Then we are going to be get the number of outputs. We are going to be get the number of outputs. How it will be? For example, for this we have a simple real-time example. For example, so one mission is there. For example, a car wash is there. In a car wash, one mission is going to be wash a car. For example, in 8 hours period, one mission is going to be washed. For example, 8 cars. So maybe we have to see about what is the cost of mission. So here the same. For example, in 8 hours, so 8 cars is going to be washed by the 8 members. So labor. So for example, in the 8 hour spanner, we will increase the labors. For example, we are going to be consider, for example, 8 labors, we are going to be increased to the 12 labors. The same time we are going to be get what? So the inputs are okay. We are going to be increase the labor, substituting complementary. Then the output is going to be 12 cars is going to be washed the same. The time is okay, no problem at all. The same time where we increase the labor, automatically the output is increased. So that is, we are going to be see about the linear manner. So that is, the inputs are perfect substitutes. So we are going to be take the input labors, we are going to be fixed. So if the labors are going to be increased automatically, the output is going to be increased. So that is, we can see about the problem. Then what about this fixed proportion? So what is this fixed proportion? What we are going to be say that? So it reflects the production process in which the inputs are required in a fixed proportion because there is no substitution of one input with other. We are not going to be substitute anything. So we are going to be fixed. In this particular person is can do particular capital and particular labor. They are going to be fixed for particular work. So they can see about this one. So it is going to be processed like the way. So the process is going to be fixed. So when the fixed, the inputs are required in a fixed proportion because there is no substitution. In a linear manner, we have a different substitutions are there. Then we have a variable capital. So here we have a fixed propositions are there. We don't have any substitutions. In Cope dongles production function, it represents the typical production function. It is which a labor and capital can be substituted. So in the first linear, we are going to be see about the inputs are going to be substituted. The third one, in the order we have a third one, that is a fixed proposition. We are not going to be change anything. We have a fixed labor and fixed capital. We are going to be some outputs of it. In Cope Donald methods, we are going to be varying. We are going to be substitute the capitals and the labors. So it is going to be changing. So we already said that it is not going to be used for a short term. It is going to be used for a long term. The Cope Donald's production function is going to be used for a long term. So this is three production functions in the way of how the production is going to be done. So here we are going to be discuss some of the law of variables, law variable proportions. So what is this law of variable proportions? So everything here we are going to be see this based upon the input and outputs, how the organization is going to be take care about, and what is the size of input and what is the size of outputs, and in between what are the labors importance, then how it is going to be changed the products. If one input is variable, then all the other inputs are fixed, then the prime productions function exhibits the law of variable proportion. So what is it? So we have number of inputs are available. So if one input varies, then other all inputs are fixed. Then the production function exhibits the law of variable proportion. Then we have to see about these laws will be applied here. So we have different types of inputs are there. So one input we are going to be varies and other inputs are going to be fixed. Then we need to see about these laws of proportions. And if the number of inputs, the number of units of variable factor is increased, keeping the other factors constant, then how the output changes is concerned of this one. So law is nothing but testing in the different manner. So inputs are going to be fixed. One input is going to be changed, or else so number of outputs are going to be increased based upon the factors, variable factors we are going to be increased. So then here also we can concern some laws. Suppose, so in what way we will differ and what type of things is going to be considered means, see for example, suppose land, plant and equipment are the fixed factor and the labor are the variable factor. Can you agree this one? Can you agree this one? So land, plant, equipment are the fixed factors and the labor are the variable factor. For example, in a construction, for example, we can see in a construction. So in village areas, if the coolies are there, no, for a construction persons, they are going to be getting a very cheap. For example, if we see in the same persons in a town, so that the cost of labor will be high. But the things, the equipments they are going to be used, the same equipments they are going to be used. For example, the same cost, the cost of the product is the same. The cost of the labor will be different from the different places. So that is the thing. So then when the number of labors is increased successively to have a larger output, the proportion between a fixed and variable factor is altered and the law of variable proportion is set. So again, the number of labors are increased. So in the first one, in a variable linear production function, we are going to be see about the inputs only. We are going to be substitute the inputs. In a fixed, we are not going to be changing, we are not going to be substitute anything. If the two things are there, if the number of labors are increased in the two different processes, so what is output? The larger output is taken. So then in this particular time, again the law of variable proportion is going to be applied. Then the law states that as the quantity of a variable input is increased, by a equal doses, keeping the quantities of the other input constants. The total product will increase, but after a point at dimension rate. So we will again we will see that what is the quantity of input and the quantity of output. So here we are not going to be concentrated about the quality. We are going to be see about the quantities. So what is the quantity of input? Then once it is increasing, so that is similarly it's giving, say that equal dose means, so giving one small same type of inputs we are going to be increasing. For example, in a particular time we are going to be increased at 10 units. Then at the same time is occurs, we are going to be increased 20. For example, the increasing equal dose is 10 is going to be increased. So such type of increase in the inputs, then what is the total output is going to be? What is the total product will be increased or not? So in whether the product increasing also in a diminishing rate is a different rates is going to be there or not, everything is going to be. So what is this law of variable proportion in simple manner means, once we are have a different types of production functions are there in a different organizations, where we have to concentrate about these, some loss is going to be exhibit. One is about the inputs, another one is about labor, another one is about increasing this constant increasing or variable increasing the inputs or labor. Such places these laws of variable proportions will occur. So here we are going to be total see about what is the input output relationship, along with some capitals. What is the capital inputs are there and what is the final outputs are there. So based upon the user choice. So how the user choice means the entrepreneur of the organization is going to be choose that. So whether he needs a large amount of products, for that how he is going to be organize the organization based upon his organization is a large scale of organization or a small scale organization or macro and mini organizations. Based upon that, he is going to be select any one of the production function. So again, he is going to be see about whether the production function leads to be a perfect communication in the organization or not. That also is one thing. So here some of the assumptions are there. This is simple about what are the total inputs and output, what are the factors we are going to. So we already see about each and every production function assumption. So finally we are going to be concluded. So these are the main assumptions in the law of variable proportions. So only one factor is variable while others are held constant. All units of the variables factors are homogeneous. So inputs are homogeneous, constant inputs are. That means same type of inputs. The homogeneous means same types. We are not going to be say about the what the count. We are not going to be see about the count. We are going to be see about the type of inputs. Type of units are homogeneous. So there is no change in technology again. Then it is possible to vary the proposition which the different inputs are combined. So inputs may be how to combine. Then it assumption in a short term situations or a long term. So again, we already know that first and third we are going to be see, we can apply for both the long term and short term, but the second one we can apply only the long term only. So that we are going to be see about. Then the products is measured in a physical units, that is in quantities and tons. So we already said that the production function is going to be take the raw inputs and we are going to be final outputs are the raw outputs only. So these physical units is going to be measured by a quantals and tons, maybe weights based upon the weights we are going to do. So the use of money is increased, the products may be increasing rather than the decreasing the returns. The price of the product rises even though the output might be equal. So maybe, so that is again, so what is the cost of that production uh, is going to be happened, then what is the sale of the production. So that is going to be varies and maybe rises and maybe declines based upon the market standards also. We can see that market standards, and also it will shows the effect on the organization. So that assumption also we need to consider. Again, end of the day, we have to see about the economics of the organization, that is the use of money. So how come the money is going to be used in the organization in a perfectly. So what is the budget we were prepared for capital inputs. So what is the sold of outputs, then what is the profit is going to be measured each and every. So again, another one is about this one. So the production function starting onwards, we are going to be select isoquantums, isoquantums. So what is this isoquantums? So simply I will start it again tomorrow morning, the first hour we will continue the same thing. So this is nothing but I told you. So this is we can see about. I will show you one diagram. This one we will discuss in the next. So this was the diagram. Simple. The factors, for example, see that we have in x-axis we have L labor and y-axis we have a K capitals. So we are going to be see some relationship between. We are going to be draw some curves. We are going to be mentioned in the diagrammatic methods. That is the thing is known as isoquantums. So the meaning of isoquantums is, see that we can divide that word into two terms, that is ISO and quantums. The means of ISO and quantums, ISO means the equal and quantums is implies the quantity. Equal quantities. So that what is this equal quantities? So we were talking about the various types of production functions with the various types of organization, different types of maybe a short term and long term we will discuss here. If the long term and short term organizations are there, so if the based upon the inputs, based upon the labors, based upon the capitals. So what is the output? If the output are going to be implies is the same, then what type of production function is going to be applied? That we will see in the next. See that the family of isoquantum curves of the isoquantum production differences curves. We are going to be mentioned in a curve manner. So that is a diagrammatic manner. In x-axis and y-axis, we are going to be take about the labor and the capital. Then with that, what is the output? Whether it is going to be increase or decrease. That is we are going to be mentioned in a graphical representation is known as isoquantum. So we will see in the next class. No problem. It's the time of I think so. So anyone having doubt about these three production functions is a very important in the second unit, production function. In this production function is a one part, and the second part is about sales. So here we are going to be talking about inputs and outputs. What is the relationship between? So if the relation is there, then what is the linear and cope and fixed propositions? What is there, and what are the assumptions and criticisms we were discussed. In the second part, we are going to be talking about if these type of production functions were applied, so then what is the sales? How it is going to be sale? So what is again we have what are the assumptions of the sales? Everything we will see in the second. So tomorrow we will complete the first part, and in the next class onwards we will see about the second part about sales. So total unit, I think I will show you that unit. Unit 2. This is the unit 2. So here the concept of production function, the isoquantums and the combinations up to this written sale and also up to this is one part, and the second one is about concept of cost, about sales, everything is about the second part. But tomorrow we will complete this first part, and second part we will start in the next week. Okay. Anyone having doubt can ask me.